Reb here, Rebecca. Just not Becky. And Albert. Hello. And Poppy Pants. Oh boy, we're all very excited. Boy, craziness, like usual. All right, so now I'm not a plant expert, but I do play one on YouTube. Actually, no, I don't, because I figure if you're gonna go for plant education, you're gonna do what I do. You're gonna go to YouTube and you're gonna search out Nick Pileggi, Summer Rain Oaks, a few others, and you're gonna search your topic of need on their channel. If you're gonna go for plantertainment, maybe if I am lucky, you might look for my channel. So, but I do have a few things that I might be able to help with, and this is one of them. So, confusing plant terms, especially for beginners, but sometimes even for moderately knowledgeable people like myself. They can sometimes be confusing. I have a hair that I can see and it's tickling me. Okay, so we're going to go through those, and I have a list of these terms that might be confusing. Hopefully I can help. So I'm just going to jump right in. Overwatering. Okay, overwatering, when I started, I thought was what I still do. You take your water and you pour it on your pot way too fast and it goes woo, everywhere. All over everything. Not it. It's not what overwatering is. Overwatering is also not when you water too much at once. You actually want to do that. You want to water your plant all the way through so it's super wet and comes through the bottom of your pot if you have a drainage hole. But I was confused at this at first. Some people think overwatering means you water too much in the pot and you only want to dribble a little on there. Not true. Overwatering is when you water before the plant needs water. And it can cause rot on your roots because they don't want to be in water all the time. Who knew? Okay. The next, bright light. It says my plant needs bright light. So does it mean that your plant, and versus low light. I thought it meant I needed to buy one of those huge mag lights, the ones that are black and heavy, although I had a pink one because that's my favorite color. Pink is my favorite color. Because it is. Anyway, so I thought it meant you had to give your plants to hold on to somehow, whether it's to set on them or hold them for protection. One of those big black mag lights, the ones that's like 2 feet long that cops carry. Or for low light, one of those little laser keychains that do nothing, but they think it's going to somehow help you see your keyhole. And it's on your key ring, so you have to somehow like hold both your key and the little key light and do both at once, because that works really well when you're trying to get into your house in the ghetto really fast before someone clocks you on the head with the big mag light. But somehow you're supposed to give that plant that and watch over your house. But that's not what bright light or low light means. It means how much light your plant gets from the window or off into your house. And bright light means near a bright window, but not getting blasting sunlight on the leaves, because that can burn them. So bright light, lots of light, diffuse, but not sun rays hitting them. Low light doesn't mean in a dark room. It means it still needs ambient light. That's how chlorophyll works to help your plant grow and eat. Yeah. Okay. Keep moist. Moist. What does that mean? I thought it meant I'm gonna keep you moist, baby. Yeah, you're moist. And I had to stroke my plant all of the time. Are you moist yet? And my fingers were getting calluses. And I have a lot of plants. There's over 100 plants here. How do I keep all of my plants moist? I was getting tired. And I'm 46 years old. Really, I'm not in the mood that much. And plus, it's weird. So anyway, I tried playing music, like all the time. My neighbors complained. They thought something weird was going on up here. They know I'm single. Yeah. Whatever. Then I learned that that means they don't like to dry out all the time. Yeah. So I use my moisture meter. That keeps them moist too. I use my moisture meter, and I make sure that the little needle doesn't go like below a 3 before I water it again. It doesn't mean it stays wet. Oh God. It doesn't mean that it stays saturated all of the time, because the roots still don't like that. They can still rot, but it doesn't mean that it goes completely dry before I water it. I hope that helps. Propagation. That does not mean what I thought it meant. Propaganda. I had picket signs in all of my plants saying, "Go carnivorous! Eat turkey! Eat cow! Don't go vegetarian! Don't go vegetarian!" It didn't mean that. I had flyers and pamphlets sticking out of everywhere. It was a mess. When I had the windows open, there was paper blowing everywhere. That's not what it was. Do you know how long it took me to realize that? That was a lot of trees. By the way, there's this hashtag going around, Team Trees. I highly recommend that you check it out. Save some trees. Plant 20, plant a whole lot of trees. Go check out my Clean Leaves channel. Check out that. Yep, I donated. You should too. But anyway, propagation is actually when you make more plants out of your existing plants. You can multiply your plant collection for free. You can do it in many, many ways. You can separate your current plants at the roots and just pot them in another plant. You can cut off parts of your plant, put them in water, and watch the roots grow. You can do the same thing in sphagnum moss, which we'll talk about later. You can do it all sorts of ways. Go research that on like other sites. Okay. Pet safe. You know what I thought that meant? When pets attack. You know the videos like when the deer come up to people and they hoof them to death? Yeah, that's what I thought. I was scared. I thought that like I had plants in here that were gonna go after me at night when I was sleeping. I was concerned. Not what it meant. I lost a lot of sleep over some of these plants that said they didn't know, like when I would ask people at the stores and stuff, and they didn't know if they were pet safe. I was worried. I thought they were gonna get my pets. I thought poor Albert was gonna get eaten. He's little, he's 3.4 pounds. Some of my plants are big. Look at that Monstera back here. I don't think, you understand. Monstera? Monster? This dog is tiny. That's not what it meant. I worried for nothing. Pet safe just means if your dogs or cats or hamsters nibble on it, they won't die or get sick. Did you know that peperomia are all pet safe and cute? I recommend them. And really, if they're not pet safe, if they're not like eating the whole plant, usually they might just get a little bellyache, maybe throw up or foam at the mouth. most of them, unless it's a massive amount and your pet is really tiny, they won't kill them, but I'm not an expert. I do have a really fairly decent background in pets, but I'm not a veterinarian either. I still say if you don't have a pet safe plant, keep it up high, or like quarantine the plant from your pets. But it's not going to attack your pet. Rooting hormone. Did you know that that does not mean that while your plant is rooting, it's going either through puberty or menopause? I was worried. I already have 2 teenage daughters. I did not need another moody thing in the house. And I'm a 46-year-old woman. You know that means that I'm starting to go through the change. So we've got 2 teenage daughters and a hormonal woman. Not what it means. Rooting hormones, just some little powder that you can put on your plant and it'll help it root faster when you're propagandaing. Yeah. A node. Did you know that it is not what I thought it was? It is not a nude little bump on your plant that you have to cut off, like castrating the little balls off of a boy. They always say, cut below the bump. Cut off the little bump. Nope. Because I was always thinking, ouch. Nope. It's the little spot on a plant that roots grow out of when you're propagandaing. Yeah. It's usually a spot where like the plant forks off, where a new leaf or petiole comes off of the stem, or an aerial root comes off, and roots will grow. Shwoo. Peat moss. I always thought that's when you had to like breathe like heat the magic dragon fire into like the moss and stir it up, or like if you had a friend, or like peat rose and it was always a gamble or something. I really didn't understand. It's just a kind of like moss that retains a lot of water that you can put in your soil. Yeah. Anyway, pot bound. So when a plant is pot bound, I thought, now I have been clean and sober for 7.5 years. I'm very proud of that. However, I have a history. So when I heard pot bound, I thought it was like when you smoke too much of the funny, wacky tobacco, marijuana, and you get really lazy and you're just like bound to your couch. You don't do anything, right? So I thought the plant was like smoking and like getting lazy and not growing. Not it. So I was worried because like I know how serious like addiction can be and you know gateway drug and all that, and so I thought, oh my god, they've got a problem. I'm gonna have to carry all of these plants to meetings and stuff. That's a lot of work. No, it just means their roots are too big for the plant, too big for the pot. So they can't grow really very well anymore and they might get a little sickly. So you just have to repot them into a bigger pot. Not too much bigger, maybe an inch bigger on each side. So like maybe an inch or 2 inch bigger pot. And then they can spread out and grow. Yeah. Sphagnum moss. I thought it was sputum. Oh, that was good timing. I just spit. Sputum moss. Into the soil. Mix it up. A little, you know, like when you, what do they call it? Poppy! He's eating underwear. There's dirty laundry on the floor because I'm going to the laundromat next. Oh, that's so gross. He also pulls out garbage from the bathroom. There's a couple of teenage girls in the house. Oh, he's so gross. Oh. While I'm off topic, I just realized I'm going to go back to propagation. It's not propagation. It's propagation. And, by the way, it's not orientated. And it's not, let's see what else. It's not intensive purposes. And as long as we're on that, it's blinker before break. And if you're going to turn out right in front of me, don't then a block later turn left. Okay? Yeah. I have no problem being open about being a grammar snob. And although I don't really get road rage, I do have a couple pet peeves. Otherwise, I'm a very laid back person. If you have any of these, you feel free to leave them in the comments. Okay, where was I? Sputum moss. Oh my God. You're not spitting and snorting and hacking out stuff into the soil. It's just something you can use for propagandaing your plants, or shipping things out, or adding moisture to your soil for plants that like moisture. You can use it. I use it for the moist hide in my leopard gecko's enclosure. There's a million different things you can use sputum moss for. Top dressing. I thought top dressing was that I had to put little pasties on my booby cactus. Not that. Top dressing is dressing the top of your soil with like rocks or pebbles or sand to make it look pretty. Maybe even keep the fungus gnat problem down. Yeah. Keeps the perlite from floating to the top. I use a lot of perlite. It all floats to the top. Well, a lot of it floats up and it gets a little yellow, but whatever. Last one, a cashpo. Cashpo. It's so fancy. And you can tell I'm a very fancy person. I thought that it was putting your pot on a cashpo or in a cashpo. I was like, cashpo? That's a very expensive first edition Edgar Allan Poe book. And why would I put my first edition, because I am very rich, if you can tell, that I'm going to the laundromat. I would put my wet plant that I'm going to water all the way through until it comes out the drainage hole on my first edition Edgar Allan Poe. Nope, that's not what it means. It's just one of those pots that's real pretty and doesn't have a drainage hole, and you plant your pot that does have a drainage hole, like maybe a nursery pot, in, so that the nursery pot doesn't show because it's not so pretty. So you put it in a nice decorative pot. Yeah, cashpo. It's spelled pot, but fancy people call it cashpo instead of cash pot. Yeah, that's it. I hope you learned something, because it's not often you're going to learn something here. It's more like plantertainment. It's not a plant education. All right. Closing up my book. And we are going to say goodbye and hope, oh, he's groaning, that you have a plantastic day. Ready? Whoa.